The idea of working from home is not a new one. In fact, many organizations have allowed it earlier, as well as definitely during the COVID-19 pandemic. And while many workers have had to return to the workplace because their employers have insisted or they're doing a hybrid model, one question that often comes up is, if I choose to work from home, how am I going to ensure that my promotion prospects don't get affected? And in this video, I'm going to share with you two effective strategies which will help you to improve your promotion prospects while you continue working from home, as well as the 12 tactics that you need in order to make it work. But first, a few points. A Stanford University study actually indicated that telecommuters are 50% less likely to get promoted. I'm going to share more about this study with you in a while, but I also want to tell you that other research has shown that this happens because of the assumption that your colleagues make when they don't see you around the office on a regular basis, and they may think that you're playing hooky when in fact you are actually working. Another point is that this problem of inequity in promotions between remote and in person workers has existed since well before the pandemic forced many people into home work situations. In fact, the Stanford study that I was referring to earlier is actually one that was done in 2015, and it was conducted in China by researchers from the Stanford Graduate School of Business. And what they found was that people working from home were actually more productive. In fact, 13% more to be exact. But they weren't rewarded with promotions at nearly the same rate as their in office colleagues. And according to Nicholas Bloom, who was the study's lead author and a professor of economics at Stanford, he said that it was striking that promotion rates plummeted. It was roughly half the promotion rate compared to those in the office. Now, if you do choose to work from home and you are concerned about your promotion prospects, let me tell you one thing: this can be overcome, but you have to ensure that you raise your visibility and you are able to demonstrate your reliability. And for that, I've got two strategies. The first is to increase your face time, and the other one is to prove that you are reliable. So let's have a closer look at the first one, which is to increase your face time. Now, this is very important because, as I told you earlier, research has shown that people assume that others are not working, and managing your face time plays a very big part in how your colleagues view you. And because just seeing you around tends to create an impression that you're actually committed as a team player. And if you are working remotely, then you just simply have to make an extra effort. The first tactic is attend meetings. Now, what I mean by that is that occasionally do come into the office, even if your presence isn't required, to attend meetings and make sure that you actually network with your colleagues, talk to them, share your ideas, but definitely make sure that you're putting in some physical appearance, or if location wise that's not possible, then make sure that you're online with them so you increase your face time. The other one is to participate in social events. Now, if your office is organizing an outing or a retreat, or if your department is doing something, make sure that you participate in those events. In fact, even volunteer to help out with it. All these little things can help people to know you, to recognize you, and they will realize that no, this person is working, is very much a part of the team. Now, the third, if you're up to it, is to actually throw a party. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to throw a wild party or something, but you can invite your colleagues over to your house for a potluck dinner, or you may invite them for cocktails, or just generally, get together with them, even outside the workplace, so that they know that you are around. The other ways to increase your face time is, if your company, like I said, is going on a retreat, then try to book your tickets so that you're traveling along with the rest of your colleagues in a group. That makes a very big difference. You can also volunteer as a group if there's a project that your organization does, a corporate social responsibility one, then you can volunteer your time in there, and also try to help out with the logistics. All these things make sure that people know that you are very much around. You can join a committee if there's one, in your organization which looks at different matters or something which is of personal interest to you. In other words, volunteer working from home doesn't mean that you don't step out of the house or come into the office. What it means is you work from home, but you make sure that other aspects are covered. And then share photos. Now, when I'm saying share photos, I'm not saying that you share photos of your dog or your cat playing office assistant and things like that. I mean, keep that for social media if you want. But the kind of photos I'm telling you is that if you are doing any site visits or going to for client meetings, then take photographs and share them with your boss so that he knows that yes, this person is stepping out, the person is doing their work. And in general, this is going to help you because you also have to show, if you want to get that promotion, that you have good people skills and that you know how to deal with the customers and clients and even vendors if required. Now, the second strategy is you have to prove your reliability. And by here, what I mean is that your boss has to know that you can be depended upon. In fact, funnily enough, that Stanford study showed that employees who worked from home were happier and more productive. The facts are on your side. You just need to let your colleagues know what you're doing. So, when I say share your personal office hours, have it up in the system, the intranet of your organization, so that your colleagues know when they can contact you and when they can follow up with you on different tasks or projects that you guys are doing. The deadlines are very important. Make sure that you are committed to them, no slacking off. In fact, produce high quality work and try to exceed your boss's expectations. If just don't do enough to be a 3 on a bell curve, make sure that you keep exceeding expectations and that you can be relied upon. Keep your boss in the know about what all you're doing. Give regular feedback also. And in general, make sure that you keep others in the loop and you stay in the loop. Now, these two are very important when we're talking about those promotions and career prospects. Apart from doing everything to show that you're reliable and people get to see your face so they know who you are, these two things are critical. You have to track your accomplishments. In other words, you have to keep track of it because you're not in the office and you're going to have to provide evidence. So keep detailed records if you're working independently most of the time. And I suggest that you take the last few minutes of the day to jot down what all you have achieved, and then you can tell your boss about your success stories. Likewise, prepare for the evaluations and, if possible, encourage your employer to actually base your promotion on key visible deliverables that you have done and on the outcomes that you have produced. In fact, present your accomplishments and suggest any broader issues that you want to discuss. You could talk about any other professional development needs that you may have, or even ask your boss about it. And all of this is basically to indicate that you are serious about your career. It'll also help you to demonstrate that your executive presence and also that you understand the dynamics of your workplace and you are very much a team member even if you're working from home. So my final words of wisdom are that you have to create more face time and you also have to show your boss that you're indispensable. These are the first two things you need to do. But also remember that you have to ask for what you want, whether it is a raise or a new position or a project, because your boss is not a mind reader. You have to ask for what you want and you have to demonstrate that you are up to it. And if you put all of this together, you're going to be well on your way to a successful career while you work from home, and everyone's going to be happy. Now, I had mentioned earlier about executive presence. Some people think that in order to show executive presence, you actually have to be in the office. That's not quite true. You can also demonstrate executive presence on the phone. You can demonstrate executive presence on video calls. It's just that you have to change your certain ways of doing it. And I invite you to download for free my executive presence checklist and see where you're actually measuring up. Along with that checklist, you also get a series of emails where I'm going to be pointing out other areas that you need to focus on. And just because you're working from home doesn't mean that you cannot develop and demonstrate your executive presence. So please go ahead and download this checklist and see where you stand. And with that, Sirap, my question to you, or rather my parting question to you is that which of these tactics are you going to try first for maximum results? Go ahead and do it and then come back and share your results with me. This is Vatsala Shukla from Karmic Coaching signing off. All the best. Let's rock your career.